So, it is summer in London. Perhaps not the greatest time to be returning to the city, but arguably better than the weather in London in all other seasons. The city is hot, the smell from the river fills the air, and Lady Irene, how would you be returning to the city? Are we going by carriage, by train, or...
Train seems perfect.
So you step down onto the platform as the train billowing out smoke in this grand open station hall. And would you have arranged for someone to meet you to collect you and your bags, or are you making your own way into the city?
I probably arranged for Beau to come and collect me and take me home.
Alright, in which case, yes, Beau will come help you carry the bags. He's there with the carriage. And as he hands you over the carriage, he goes, "Welcome home, Lady Irene. It's honestly not been the same without you."
Oh dear. Have things been more normal, or? That look says it all, Beau.
Actually, sorry, Lady Irene, may I rephrase my statement? It's been worryingly highly the same without you. These new friends of Miss Carter's are, well, interesting characters, Lady Irene.
They didn't blow the house up, did they?
Not your house, no.
I'm
Only
going
a
to
farm and, well,
farm
probably shouldn't
and
talk about the other thing.
There's another thing?
You remember reading in the papers about, Earl Grey and the house fire and...
Was it Maddie?
No, Mom. No, she wasn't there.
Oh. Okay.
Anyway.
Let's go and we'll get tea on with whiskey in it. Please.
Yeah, I'm sure James will be very glad to see you back as well. And Cecil, he's not been the same since Lucy died.
Lucy died?
In the aforementioned house fire.
All right. Yeah, it's home. Home sweet home. Fair London.
And it doesn't take you long to arrive back at Grosvenor Square. And by now, it's a balmy summer evening, and you can see the lights shining through probably almost all the windows downstairs and several upstairs. It's like someone's got plenty of lamps lit in the house.
That means Maddie's home.
And yeah, Maddie. You hear the carriage pulling up.
James, can you get some tea? I believe we're expecting someone. I'm going to, at that point, close up all of the transcripts I'm writing from monsters and their kind, and close that up, make it nice and neat, and pull my knitting basket over and start knitting while I'm waiting. Keeper, I do need to know, what the heck am I knitting?
What are you trying to knit?
Maddie has just been knitting without any idea in her head, so I have no idea. What am I knitting?
Let's make me a knitting roll here. That's for the quality of it, as I think about.
It's a success.
Okay, so you're successfully making Maddie subconsciously this is me thinking. Well, I mean, Maddie's been a bit out of sorts recently. It started off as a kind of a shawl thing for the winter, but you've kind of been using knitting as a distraction, and it's now turned into this incredibly long scarf. It just keeps, it's sort of piled up, and you've not stopped. You're just keeping using it as a distraction, and at this point, it's probably a good 15 feet long.
Well, depending on how long it takes for Lady Irene, maybe I'll get another 3 to 5 centimeters added on pretty quickly.
Can I ask what color the scarf is, out of curiosity?
It's probably a multitude of colors.
That's
Just keep going until I run out of yarn on that skein, and then I pull whatever's next.
I'm just
in the
picturing. I'm picturing like it started like a bright red, and then it went to yellows and oranges, and now we're into green. And that's
I
kind of
know
what
there
I'm
might be
picturing.
some brown in there.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, so James opens the door. Lady Irene, it's wonderful to have you back.
Hug.
Miss
Yep.
Carter's in the library. Yeah, it's
I've missed you.
great to see you're still alive and well. We were getting a little worried. There were many letters. Everyone's still alive here as well.
Okay, good. I've heard about fires.
Not here. The house has not been on fire. No
I've
one's
heard
been
about-
murdered in the house.
In the house. Okay, there's some specifications there. I guess you will have to fill me in, and if I have any post.
Yes, I left your letters on your desk. Various.
Thank you.
Requests. And also some accounts. They're a little bit dramatised, but some accounts from various London newspapers to get you up to speed on what's been going on.
Good.
I put
Okay. I appreciate
Mr.
it.
Bernice's at the top. I mean, they're a little at the top, but they're more accurate than some of the others.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, same old, same old. I guess I'm hitting the ground running, as per usual.
Yes.
Thankfully, I always keep a sword packed.
Yes. I'll show you in. And as he shows you into the library where Maddie is waiting, we're just going to hop over to find out what the gentlemen of the society are up to. What are Franco and Mortimer up to this evening?
And this evening, Franco will probably be, finishing up maybe a little article or something for his new paper, and otherwise, comfortably sit in his new lodgings. Not anything comparable to what the society has to offer, but a significant step upward from his previous station. Even, drinking a bit of whiskey maybe. And leaning back comfortably in a chair.
Okay. And our doctor friend, what is Mortimer up to?
He's probably trying to relax, considering everything that's gone on, and the death of Earl Grey, and all the chaos that came with it. And he's probably got a book on his desk. He keeps looking back and forth to trying to decide whether it's worth reading this, because he's finished his studies of his earlier book. Cults de Ghouls, I believe, is this other book. And he's just basically trying to decide whether or not to read that, because he feels the information in it is important, being that it deals a lot with the Black Pharaoh, who's a recent problem we've got, and potentially Maddie's new friend. But that's probably what he's doing. How much time would you say? Is this early evening or?
I will fully admit that I lost track of what time it was when we left off last session. So let's say early evening.
In which case, he'll probably have us start reading his book.
Okay. So this book is fairly old, and most notably it is in French. So I am going to ask for a French roll from you here. See.
He doesn't have French as a skill.
Okay. In which case, do you have someone who speaks French that you can get to translate this?
To be fair, I would have thought he would have, due to the fact that he's involved with smuggling all over Europe, French being one of the dominant languages.
Did you put any This is more of a... You could have put... Do you have other languages you have points in?
He's got Latin at quite high. I think Latin's at 60 something, but his normal language is at 93.
I mean, you get some of it without knowing the French, but you won't get the actual full meaning of the book without someone who speaks French to translate it for you.
I could work on the translation then.
You need... So if you're there with a French dictionary next to you, it's going to be slower going, but you can start to make sense of some of it.
So he does do translations of some of the books that come in for him, because that's what he actually did with the Latin book, the first one. So chances are I would just work on a translation of it then.
Okay, give me... in that case, give me a language own roll, but this is going to be a much higher threshold due to the fact that it's not the... You're doing it with dictionaries and other tools in place.
Which language do I roll them?
Your own language. But it will be a harder threshold to get anything out of it. Okay, so hard success, which is enough that it's slow going, but you're starting to make some sense of this book. It's going to take you, a full study to understand its contents. It's going to take probably almost a month. But just from starting to look at it, I mean, you can see that this is descriptions of a cult and their practices, and also some of their rituals and ceremonies, involving the summoning and binding of various beings and creatures, and also various, I guess, arcane means of defense and attack against others, but it's going to take a lot more study to get full understanding of how to put any of that into play.
That's all good. Got to start somewhere.
Yes.
Is there any sanity loss for just this bit at the moment? Because as I understood, this is a rather unpleasant book.
The question is, do we want... I suppose if... Do you want
Or do you want to wait
sanity
till I've
loss
actually
now, or
translated
till
them?
you've got further into it? Let's
Well,
see.
if I'm just focusing on the translating, I suppose once it's... I'm
I
working
mean,
on...
to translate it, you're going to have to understand it. So,
Yeah.
let's say... How much is your Cthulhu mythos currently?
I shall have a quick look. 1 second. It is at 12.
Okay. So, I would like you to roll me a d10. Give yourself 4 points of Cthulhu mythos. And also, as you're reading through this, if we're doing the mythos again and the sanity loss now, I will say you're starting to make sense of one of the rituals in here. And this is one. This is called. Oh, 9.
Big roll.
Oh, that's 9 points of sanity loss.
That's a lot.
As you start to make sense of this ritual, which is called the Black Words. And this seems to be an incantation and intent to cause physical injury to another, to shrivel the flesh from their bones, to cause them great pain and cause their body to blacken, wither, and rot. And does this 9-point sanity loss take you below your threshold?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Mortimer, would you kindly roll me 1d10?
Do you say that you only had 12 sanity?
No, that was Mythos.
Oh, okay.
You look of panic.
It's like we're only like 20 minutes in.
Okay. I will get back to Mortimer in just a moment. Because he's finally done what every keeper surely wishes their players to do, is suffer a bout of madness when there's no other investigators around to witness it. So we'll find out what Mortimer's been up to shortly. Meanwhile, back over with the ladies at the society.
I'm so happy to see you. And she's coming over and she hugs Maddie. I missed you.
I'll pat her arm. Maddie didn't stand. She's got knitting in her lap, and she didn't want to dislodge that and tangle the threads and yarns.
I really picture there's been this like weird hop with skirts and trying to get over to you to give the hugs.
Yeah. I hope you are well.
Doing better. Doing much better. I had a wonderful trip out.
Have a seat. Have some tea.
Of course. What's with all of this?
I am having some issues. I've developed, well, you probably already know, the fear of the dark and water, and I've still been trying to work. And she gestures at the book and the pile of papers and the notebook that are on the desk. I am currently working on retranscribing that into something that's more researchable.
I see. And this is the
This is Monsters and Their Kind.
Oh, in the original German, I assume.
No.
Or translated already.
Yes, it was. Oh wait,
Nameless Cults was the one in German. Monsters and Their Kind is the not old English, but old space English, not old English.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, there are so many books with forbidden titles and mind-breaking things in them.
Yes. There is. Do you remember Dr. Davenport?
Yes. Charming fellow. He was making a copy, right?
Yes. He has in his possession another book. I haven't read it yet. It is a banned book. Most of the copies have been destroyed. And we are dealing with something very unwholesome.
Like normal. James, I'm going to need whiskey for this tea.
Right away, Mom. Right away.
Thank you. All right. I see we're getting right back into it. So, what is it that you need? What can I do to help?
Well, I don't know yet. It seems that we are dealing with two different things at the same time. One of them is called the Black Pharaoh. And the other one is serpent people.
You mean serpent people?
Yes. I'm going to set down my knitting needles, and then I'm going to search through my pile of papers that I have been trying to alphabetize so that it's easy to, and I'm going to pull out the paper that I copied that I did not give to Dr. Davenport, and it's going to be the page of Yig and his followers, and I'm going to pass it to Lady Irene. This seems to be something in relation to one of the issues that we are dealing with. There also seems that there may possibly be a connection. It's hard to tell.
Do we have anything concrete on the connection? Is there...
The only thing concrete on the connection is an artist.
An artist?
Yes. He paints moving pieces.
Moving pieces? Like...
If you look at them long enough, they seem to move, and gruesome details stand out. Actually, tomorrow, I believe, has it been 2 days yet? Keeper, has it been 2 days? Or nearly?
2 days since...
We visited the artist.
I think... Hang on, today...
I think it's only
think
been
tomorrow,
1 day.
Tomorrow will be 2 days, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
No, tomorrow will be 1 day. Yesterday was a very busy day, I think.
Well, I have 1 more day before I'm due back at the artist's home to purchase the piece I said I would purchase. You are welcome to join me if you would like, so that you can witness.
Of course I'm going to come with you, Maddie. I don't want you to get hurt. Where are you going to put this piece, anyway?
In one of the unused rooms.
You promise it's going to be an unused room? You're not going to go and sit in there and stare at it repeatedly or anything like that?
It's definitely going to be a room that is unassigned to anyone. I don't expect to want to be in a position where I am staring at it all the time. It is quite discomforting. And it seems that all of the pieces that he has painted so far have had something to do with each of the things that we have dealt with. The piece that I am...
Like everything that we've dealt with? The green flame, the printing press, the...
I'm not sure about the printing press, but yes, the green flames.
Dagon, Hydra.
Yes, the Augusta Belfont is one of the subjects. There was one that was about something that I actually ran away from. Yes. It seems like there's pieces that are coming out that are related to the Black Pharaoh. The thing is this artist's mother is a serpent person. Maddie is fully, hands are definitely fidgety. She realizes that her hands have gotten that bad. She picks up her knitting needles and starts knitting again.
I love the image of Lady Irene, who is taking her teacup with the whiskey bottle, and she was pouring a little in, And as Maddie has continued, it's just gone to where it's a little bit of tea with whiskey now instead of the other way. And there might have been one of those things where she sipped and then poured more and sipped again and poured more. Whew. All right. So, of course, I'm going to go with you. Does he paint the paintings there?
So here's the situation with the artist. His name is Shipley, Miles Shipley. And it seems that he is terrified of his mother, which he has every right to be. She seems to keep him under lock and key, and their house is dark. Extremely dark, terrifyingly dark.
So
windows are painted black and then boarded up with bars on them.
How did you get in and out of that building without setting it on fire?
I was not alone. And they did bring lamps. So that was fine. But I have to go back and purchase a painting, and then I have to convince them to come here so that we can separate them and get the truth out of Miles, Mr. Shipley. And we probably have to do something about his mother.
Okay. We simply kill his mother and bring him here.
She has to come with him here. She won't let him alone. Not for any meaningful length of time. At least that's what we saw.
So if we kill his mother, then he's free, and there we go. I don't see the problem.
Yeah,
or is
that's
that
where
going
we're
to be
at.
Okay. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. I don't even know this woman yet. And you said she's a snake person.
Mm-hmm.
And
at least according to Franco. Bernice.
The newspaper guy. The guy that was under the table.
Under the table.
Yeah. He was back when we were looking and investigating another murder that had happened. He was there scooping around for a story and broke into the back and hid himself under the man's table in his study. And me and Dr. Mortimer, I believe, caught him red-handed.
Well, this must have been one of the times that I had left for
a sabbatical reasons. Yeah, you took a long holiday. But yes, that is how I met him, and that is how he got dragged into this. So he's been helpful.
Yes, he helped with the werewolf.
Werewolf?
That's what made me run away.
What?
I left. I left in the middle of that investigation. I couldn't deal with it any longer.
Makes sense. But werewolves? Like, legitimate werewolves?
Yes. I am going to look through the papers that I have and see if I can pull up the werewolf page. If I've done that page yet.
Okay.
Do you have like a sketch?
Is this from monsters and their kind you're looking for?
Yes.
Because
remember last week I was looking for anything that was werewolf or werewolf related?
yes, you did see mention of a creature described there as a ghoul.
A ghoul. Okay. I'll pull out that page and pass it to Lady Irene. Sorry, I thought it was a werewolf, but this might be closer to it.
The text called it a ghoul, but the description does look very much like the jackal-like creature that you encountered in the graveyard. So, who knows?
And actually, this seems also related to the paintings. There was one on display a couple of nights ago in an artist exhibit called the Red Pyramid, and if you looked at it long enough, you would see these jackal people. And I'm gesturing at the page, aiming to devour the entrails of the human sacrifices.
Fascinating. Simply fascinating. I cannot wait to meet this person that does these paintings.
Oh, he's terrified of quite a bit. At least it seems like that. I don't know how he's able to do his... And she starts knitting a little bit faster. I don't know how he's able to get his paints to do that.
Well, there is one way for me to find out.
We'll find out when we go to purchase the painting I said I would purchase.
Okay. So?
Yes, indeed, that's what we will do. I assume our other associates will be by in no time for supper at some point, or...
Not sure about maybe breakfast. I don't know what their evenings are like.
Right.
Mr. Bernice has a better job now. He's no longer for the tabloids and actually is for the paper. And you know that Dr. Davenport is quite busy with his bookshop, among other things.
Yes, that bookshop that he took over from Letitia. Did he find that one book there? I'm just curious. The one that we were talking about that many of the copies had been burned?
I don't know. I don't think so. But I was also gone for
quite a while.
Months.
Like I was, so it makes sense. There's a lot to catch up for. We will have supper. You can tell me all about it. Regale me with your tales of dare and do and running away screaming and crying into the wilderness, and you can catch me up on the tallies of who the people we knew that are now dead and exactly how many buildings have been burned down.
I wasn't there for the last one.
That's so weird.
I was gone. I ran away. I couldn't deal with it anymore. They did that on their own.
I'm not blaming you. It just, that is what you do. And now I need to know which one of the other two did it.
Well,
it's fine.
I don't know.
All in good fun.
Yes. And I am going to start focusing a little bit more on my knitting. I think I dropped a stitch or two, and I need to go try and fix it. So I'm ripping, I'm frogging, and then I'm fixing it again.
What's really hilarious about this is I think you start doing that, and Lady Irene goes into her luggage and pulls out one of the swords that she has gotten from her trip and begins to practice in the library while you stitch.
So here we see two fine, respectable Victorian ladies, one knitting by the fire and the other practicing her sword forms.
Yep.
sun sets over London. And before we go on to whatever morning arrangements and discoveries are made, Franco, I would like a power roll from you. Please. As you settle down for a lovely, relaxing night's rest. With the soothing sound of the sea sort of washing around you. As ever, we have, well, tucked up under your pillow is your lovely little Lucky Charm, which you acquired from the Belfont basement. With it tucked up under your pillow, you hear the washing of the waves. And you feel yourself sinking deep down to those obsidian depths once more. And you see rising up around you the ruins of this steep buried city. And as you find yourself moving and drifting through this darkness, fronds of kelp swaying around you, you feel there is a presence there with you. There's someone just behind you. And as you turn around, you get the briefest glimpse of this almost human face staring back at you. And as you wake, you hear this last whisper of a word. Words. Go to the river. And then you're awake. Warm night. Curtain drifting in the wind.
How late is it?
It's probably past midnight by now, early hours of the morning.
So if I'm not too tired, that would make me curious. I mean, quick look can't hurt, can it? So I'm, grabbing my old clothing, the stuff that's not as new, and therefore, not as remembering the last time I went into the poorer regions of the city and wasn't actually recognized as one that belongs there because I was, doing a bit better. So, I'm wearing like my hand-me-downs from earlier, my previous life basically, and go towards the river. More like towards the poorer part of town.
Okay, so as you make your way down towards the Thames, you're not the only one taking a late night stroll. Mortimer, you sort of come to your senses. You've not lost any memory or any time. You fully remember getting your coat, putting your shoes on, and heading out into the night. But it was almost like you were moving outside of your own volition, as your feet took you on the long trek up to the cemetery. And you find yourself standing at the gate of a little gated mausoleum. One that holds the remains of your family. As sort of all the things you're reading, the talk of death and everything that happened in the graveyard has brought you back here.
Bit of a strange coincidence, really. This book covers necromancy, doesn't it?
It does.
So it says there's a way to bring people back.
It does.
Is there anything strange about this mausoleum? Is that the bars, is it still locked up?
It's still locked. It's still as you left it when you were last here.
I'll probably just start walking back. Well, yes, I'll probably start walking to leave, but I'm just wondering, have they got a new person looking after the cemetery? There was a hut, wasn't it? Is that lit up or not?
It doesn't look like it's lit up. It doesn't look like they've yet replaced the groundskeeper.
I was just checking because that could have caused problems if I was spotted there.
After the last one was mauled to death by badgers, they've not yet found a replacement.
Yeah, vicious badgers. I'll probably just start the slow walk home. It is quite a long walk, as I recall.
It's quite a long walk, yes.
And think of my options. This book might be giving me some new options.
So as you begin the long walk back, Franco, you arrive at the banks of the Thames. And the water is lapping high at the moment. The tide is high, lapping up against the edge of this wharf. And you can, even though it's night, there's still a few people moving around. You can hear people out in the surrounding streets. There's some sounds echoing across the docks. Sound carries well over water, and you can hear someone having an argument, like on the other side of this dock basin.
I think I'm just gonna, take a seat at the, letting my legs, maybe dangle over the water a little. Just take some time to think. Maybe the smells aren't that great in that part of town, but just...
It's a pungent odor of river, which seems to be growing stronger. And as you sit there thinking, you notice movement in the water. And there seems something moving down there beneath the surface, under the black water.
Probably fish.
Probably fish.
I'll look a bit.
Make me a spot hidden, please. That's not a fish. What's staring back at you most certainly has a face. It's not a human face. It's all wrong. This greyish green coloured fish-like, maybe? Or maybe more amphibian than fish-like. This large pair of eyes staring unblinkingly back up at you. And it's definitely just watching you. And I need a sanity roll from you. As this figure raises its head up out of the water, roll me 1d6, please.
Yeah, that's below my daily limit.
As this creature pulls itself up out the water and holds out its hands towards you. And this all seems almost this strange, almost dreamlike quiet seems to fall over the scene. The sounds of the argument on the other side of the docks fading away. All you can hear now is the ripple of the water. And then a voice. Join us. Join us.
He's gonna reach for that hand. That's
I will also give you a D10 here on the sand.
okay.
And know that you're treading very dangerous ground here. Ah. Hysteria. So as you reach for this hand, you feel this, it's just, this whole thing, is it a dream, is it reality? And you find yourself laughing. You can't stop. It's just this laughter sort of bubbling up from inside you. As this cold, clammy hand takes yours. And it's going to try and pull you down into the water. Are you going to resist this or not? You are fully have the full free will to resist this.
I think the moment where he feels that cold hand, he'll start noticing that it's not a dream anymore. And, be like self-preservation instinct, just pull back, try to stumble away from that.
As you stumble back, the calm over the scene seems to break. The sounds come rushing back. There's movement around the corner, and the creatures back down into the water. As a drunk comes stumbling round the corner, sort of bottle in hand. Hey, nice night for it.
Totally.
Mind how you go. My mate fell in the other week.
Yeah, no, that, yeah.
Drunk as a fish he was there.
Oh boy. I'm just gonna, get myself, back on the, back to the street. Taking a bit of a distance to the water. And try to piece together what just happened and how much of that was actually a thing and how much just was my stressed brain. Probably, find the pub that the drunk guy just came out of and try to get like a couple of drinks.
So, yes, you have a couple of drinks, settle your nerves a little, but you feel, as you're sat there drinking, you can feel the weight of something in your pocket. That little lucky talisman. That little carved creature.
Yeah, must have taken that with me. Don't know. It's probably fine.
It's probably fine. Well, with that, I think we should probably head forward to the next morning. After Lady Irene and Maddie have spent time sort of catching up on various gossip and the events and deaths of various people. Probably the most notable gossip is the fire that killed Earl Grey and several of his servants and Lucinda Vane. And also the fact that the society is currently persona non grata with Scotland Yard.
You all do.
Your friendly contact with the inspector is not so friendly anymore after a few explosions and deaths, many for his liking. But the mortician is still very happy to help out. But, yes. The next morning, did we say we were convening for breakfast?
Yeah, I think so. Franco would visit the society, mainly
Especially
because of his dreams.
If word is around that Lady Irene was planning on returning.
I believe there is also a standing invitation for them to join for breakfast if they'd like.
Even though I'd like the day to romance me before it tries to tentacle fuck me, to be honest.
Just save that for the evening.
Yeah, that's an evening thing.
Oh, a nice moonlit stroll in the London Docklands.
Sorry, Maddie's afraid of the dark, so everything has to happen in the light. She's got to know what's messing with her.
Is a fair excuse.
What's messing with her? And we were talking about tentacle sex. Okay.
No, sorry.
Back into camera.
You were talking about it.
Well, it is cock. Anyways.
Anyway, breakfast. Yeah, so it's up to you whether you're there bright and early, eager to sort of share news, or whether you're late risers that morning.
Lady Irene's pretty bright and early riser. I mean, how are you gonna make sure that there's plenty of whiskey for the tea?
You don't need whiskey in the tea at dawn.
So you say.
I mean, Franco would be there reasonably early. Probably not having not headed home, maybe except for putting the little lucky charm back home, and then just immediately come over. So probably already smelling a little of alcohol.
Maddie's not out of her room until 9.
Mortimer will probably be the last one to arrive because he's not had the best of nights.
No, but James has put on quite a spread in honour of guests and Lady Irene's return. There's I've still not read my book on what you're supposed to serve for Victorian breakfast, but let's say we've got cold cuts, we've got
Eggs, toast,
eggs, and a large tureen of kedgeree.
Bacon. Delicious bacon and sausage.
And some sausages.
Yeah. Irene's ready to tuck in. It's been forever since I had a traditional London breakfast.
So, yeah, Franco, you arrive after your night of adventure.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, hi. Well, Miss Van West, good to see you again. Have you recuperated?
Yes, and picked up some things. I spent quite a lot of time in Venice. It was great.
That sounds really beautiful. Yeah. I was just. I mean, basically, I'm here. I had a little bit of a weird dream that I thought I should probably talk about.
A dream.
Yeah. About like being underwater in like a sunken city, you know, Atlantis-like, and like some sort of a fish person, and then being at the docks at the. I mean, it might actually be. I mean, I was actually on the docks in London.
Near the
After,
Thames?
yeah. And I mean, I don't really know where it stopped being a dream.
You remember the Belfonts, right?
Yeah, I think we were in the ruins of the house at some point, and we we stole the medical records from the doctor that's taking care of one of them. What's got
They used to take people and sacrifice them and throw them into the river.
So this, whatever this was actually trying to pull me in the river. Okay.
They were followers of the cult of Dagon. Fish people.
Okay.
I highly believe that darn it, her name escapes me, but they're the Belfont's daughter, the one
Augusta.
that was Augusta, had dalliances with the fish people, and that's why she kept her husband locked up during the
Wait.
pregnancy. We went to
Wait,
save the
what?
husband.
So, was she the fish person? Was the husband the fish person? Was
No, I don't
What?
know if she was a fish person herself, but she went to the river and had dalliances with a fish person and became with child, and thus there was the whole thing about her getting engaged, and yeah, her human husband, which was, I guess the marriage was kind of a sham to cover it all up. Her human husband, they had locked in his room, and we had to go and save him,
Okay.
which
So,
led to Maddie blowing the house up.
oh, so that's why. I see. I mean,
I would
assume
highly
that there
recommend
was
you
something
do
happening.
I highly recommend that you do not talk to Maddie about this.
Bad memories, I assume.
They're also the ones that killed her uncle, the one
Oh.
who gave us this place.
Oh, I see. Okay. I'm not gonna just
On land drownings, the whole
What?
thing.
on land drownings. What am I supposed to fucking do now? I basically was where I was at the docks this morning, and then in the pub because I was. If you can drown on land, what?
Well, you're
okay.
here now, and you didn't die, so that's good. We have to take the positives.
Yeah, okay.
So maybe you should not go for late night strolls on the Thames.
Probably not. No. I mean, I'm fine, right? I'm fine. I'm just maybe a bit stressed. Slightly bit. About this much.
Of course you are. Franco.
Any of the books. Normally, people do stuff after they read the books. They left. I was wanting to read them and I didn't.
Good. I'm glad you didn't. Good on you. The reading of the books is bad.
And it's still stress.
And at this moment, you hear the door opening and closing as Mortimer is shown in. And Mortimer, you can hear these raised voices coming through from the parlour where breakfast is served.
I'll just wander into the room. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back, Lady Irene. You look well.
Good morning, Dr. Davenport. How are you this morning?
Not that well. I've had a bit of a strange evening.
Strange evening.
Also,
Did it have to do with? Did it have to do with the Thames River?
No, not at all. It'd be silly to wander near the Thames. You might fall in.
Yes, it is absolutely silly to wander near the Thames.
Nobody would
late
do
at
that
night.
sort of- Yeah, exactly. Especially in the dark, you just might tumble in without realizing.
Yeah.
Loads of people fall in the river.
All the time.
No, I had started studying a book,
Oh, here we go.
and
That's what she says to her teacup, by the way. When
and I just walked. I just wandered away somewhere. I wasn't quite sure why, but I ended up in Highgate Cemetery. I'm not entirely sure. I just arrived at my family's grave.
I mean, maybe just,
did you hear some voice talking to you, and did you see people, and were you trying to follow them someplace?
No,
Good.
I just went.
Okay.
Everything, the mausoleum was all locked up. This was where we encountered that werewolf-like creature, if you remember, Franco.
Yeah, I remember.
To do with that cult thing, the Black Pharaoh.
The ghoul thing.
Oh, ghoul thing. That could be very well what it is.
Maddie was trying to catch me up yesterday when I arrived.
Yes, anyway, I just walked back home from Highgate and trying to put my mind together.
Hey, Maddie, did you have a good sleep?
Well, as best as I can.
Room bright enough for you?
Yes.
Good.
Yes. I heard my name from outside the door.
Oh, yes, we have Franco Bernice and Dr. Mortimer Davenport here for breakfast. And there's definitely this look on her face when she looks to Franco, like, you know what not to say. There's definitely this kind of little look over with some eyebrows. Yes, come, have breakfast, have tea. Mortimer was telling us about something that was going on in his family's mausoleum after reading a book.
Nothing was going on. I just found myself there. But anyhow, it was just a very strange evening. I wasn't planning to walk there in the middle of the night, but there I was. But I felt it was important we should at least have a look at this book. It's not the most pleasant of reads. I think all the copies were meant to have been destroyed by the church, probably over the last few centuries. And
yes, that's what I was reading in my nameless cults, is that there was a very valid reason for them to destroy every copy that they were able to get their hands on.
yes, I don't blame them. It's extremely unpleasant. The book focuses on, I believe, necromancy, necrophage, and necrophilia. And it is not pleasant reading. I thought it was going to be an unpleasant book when I first found it. I'm not sure if you were aware of it, Maddie, the farmhouse incident.
That I wasn't a part of?
No, I believe you weren't part of this. I believe Franco's brother had been abducted when Franco asked him to look into something. and we tracked it. Well, a friend of his, Augustus Green, had come to find us to let us know what had happened, and we went to rescue him. We found out this cult of the Black Pharaoh were meeting up at this farmhouse in a secret chamber where they had an altar and things, and I believe they were very likely going to sacrifice Franco's brother. But I actually found the book in one of their cupboards in this cult, I'll say headquarters or base of operations.
Oh, yes, I remember you told me very briefly about it yesterday.
Yeah, at the time the book was bound in human skin or human flesh.
And you had it recovered.
Oh yeah, I wasn't going to be touching that sort of fit stuff. Yes, it was bound in human skin, so I rebound it in leather. I mean, it's much more pleasant now.
Much more pleasant is
It was
relative.
freshly bound in human skin that hadn't been cured.
Why are we reading this book again?
It seems to focus on the Black Pharaoh, who seems to be a new problem.
Yes.
There was the matter of, I'll have to chat to Dr. Peterson at some point, because I sent him all the body parts we found. Found this cupboard full of jars with loads of human body parts. Well, I'm assuming human. We didn't have a proper look, just jars full of human body parts. And I wasn't quite sure what to make of it, but I thought he would be the person to know, so... He seemed quite excited when I brought the jars into him.
Yes,
But,
he is a very curious individual.
He is rather interesting to talk to, but yes, this book wasn't the most pleasant thing, so I'm currently reading that.
Well, don't get too attached to this book, because after we're done and after we figure this out, that book needs to be burned.
It very likely will be.
Good.
Some of the stuff it discusses are some of the, we'll say, spells it has in it are... Now, I've read another book. I believe it's called The Mysteries Firmus or something along those lines. It was another one, and the spells in that and the information that covered is nowhere near as unpleasant as this one.
Be careful with the spells.
Oh, I'm not planning to cast any of those.
Good.
I know how to, and I am very curious about a couple, but no.
Which ones are you curious about?
Well, there's one which is Summon Invisible Servant, which might be useful. I mean, perhaps it's like something you can summon and it helps you around the house. But more than likely, these... I think the spells are misleading. Because if you want something summoned, you're going to put it as making it... Well, you'll make it sound as harmless as possible to get someone to cast it. There's no guarantee what you're going to summon is what it's telling you it is.
Oh, yes, I've had that mistake happen.
Yes. There was an incident of...
It was the night my uncle died, was murdered by the Belfonts.
Yes, and Maddie attempted to do a spell called Summon the Sun.
It was supposed to make their, oh God, what was that thing? It was like
It was
muddy and watery and
tentacly and
quite disgusting, and it was supposed to dry it up and make it die.
That makes perfect sense.
But that's not what...
then the green fire stuff happened.
Apparently the sun is the name for another being.
And I was doing the first half of that ritual.
Oh,
It led to people exploding randomly into fire.
That sounds similar to that one I've read, the contact, the Great Serpent, which we thought might actually be that Yig thing, I think that was called. Well, that's more a contact than a summon spell. But some of these spells could be useful, but I think they're all misleading. They're tricky to use them.
From just FYI for a roleplay action, while we're talking about this and they start talking about spells back and forth, Irene looks directly at Franco. There is just this look with a whole conversation going on.
Franco's just sitting there, not moving, not saying anything, just eating, drinking coffee, maybe with a bit of an enhancement in it.
Enhancement.
Yeah.
Maddie, what painting were you thinking of buying?
What was it called? The fire. The one with the fire. The one with the fire.
I think it's Goat's Wood or something, was it?
I think so.
There's one painting I think called The Visitor.
Yes, the goat wood.
Goat Wood, that's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. The fire isn't green in that one, but it always was starting out orange and then would flicker green.
Yeah, I believe Morgan went and bought the one up
at that point. Maddie's vision kind of glazes over, and she just drifts into quiet and kind of becomes not there for a few seconds.
Lady Irene, have you been brought up to date on these paintings?
Yes, you stare at them long enough, they kind of move. They apparently have references to our escapades in them.
Yes, I only know of two. I suspect the Visitor related to that creature that seemed to hop different bodies, possess bodies. I think that was the Visitor. Arabella's Last Dance was, that's a very good point. You might not have been told. Earl Grey's former wife, his late wife, Arabella, she was the creature in the cemetery in Highgate. She'd been kept captive beneath the Vane estate and dug her way out and was eating the corpses in Highgate and ate the groundskeeper. And it turned out there's some sort of strange curse that passes along her family line into the Vane family. And I believe Lucinda Vane was also one of those said creatures.
Oh.
And I believe the painting that Morgan bought was called Arabella's Last Dance, which was a bit of a strange coincidence, considering this artist hasn't been. He paints what he sees in dreams.
Oh my. This is going to be fascinating and terrifying.
Yes, I'm not too sure of the purpose of these paintings. I believe he was doing a set of 3, the Red Pyramid being the first of the 3. I cannot remember the second one. It wasn't for sale. I believe they'd already been sold, effectively. I cannot remember the gentleman who they were sold to, but he's already, reserved them.
Do we know this individual's name or anything?
Keeper, was it the... I'm trying to remember his name because I spoke to him, I believe, at the gallery.
Are you talking about Leighton? I believe he'd
He
expressed
was-
an interest in the triptych, yeah.
Who commissioned the painting was interested in buying all.
He
the
hadn't
set.
commissioned it, no. He was interested in it.
He had bought the first one and he was interested in buying the other two.
I don't remember if he'd bought the first one. He was displaying the first one in the gallery. He was interested in buying them.
And that would be the name I'd give anyway, Leighton.
Latent.
These paintings have a strange effect on people's minds, and I think I was concerned about if they were to be purchased and put on display, then they would have a massive, well, certainly a large impact on people's sanity. And I suspect that was the long-term goal, to put dangerous items somewhere where large numbers of people can view them. So my personal thoughts are, I would like all those paintings burnt, destroyed so no one could see them again.
I understand those
Or
thoughts.
certainly put out of reach of anyone who may see them.
And if we were to procure any of these paintings, they would need to be in a sequestered place. And me and Maddie had already discussed this, that it would be in a room, not in anyone's particular room, but in a room that is not used.
Probably best to keep that said room locked, and the paintings facing the wall.
Or covered.
Yes. And you were told about the serpent person?
This artist's mother is a serpent person?
I
Lizard
believe
person?
so. I don't believe she is really his mother. That is, I believe they can disguise themselves with illusions of sorts. I believe Franco and Morgan had encountered a snake person on an earlier case. I've not had the opportunity to encounter one in its full snake glory.
Well, Franco, what was it like?
I'm sorry. I'm still a bit with my sleep this night. It's just, what were you asking?
About the snake person. You met one.
Oh yes. She smelled like one. No, she moved oddly, and it's not like you really saw specifically, but I was certain in that moment. I'm no longer, but that's mainly because the moment's passed.
I believe the snake person that Franco and Morgan had encountered was planning some sort of ritual. They had a number of stones they'd planted around an earl's estate. And I believe Franco and Morgan, after killing said serpent person, had all said rune stones destroyed, except for one, which on its own I believe is likely powerless. And I believe it's in one of his cupboards somewhere, or one of his drawers in the library, actually. I think it's that one. I'll point to one of the drawers. It's a language we don't recognise, but I thought it'd be worth keeping on hand. Anyhow, it'd be on the odd chance we encounter the same language again. Which actually, Morgan mentioned that he mentioned a bit of paper in that house where the artist was that had some letters similar to the runes.
Well, at some point, I guess I can take a look at this stone.
I don't think it relates to what we're doing, but it's certainly worth looking at in case you see the language.
If it's the serpent person, it might be relevant to at least part of what we're looking into.
That is very true.
Okay, so what are your
You are muted.
So what are your plans for today? Are Maddie and Irene going to go over to Chelsea and visit the artist again?
I believe that was part of the intention, is to visit the artist and...
Yes. Yes. Make the purchase and try to convince them to come to our estate and work on a commission.
Okay. Are Franco and Mortimer going with them?
I don't see why not, unless they do not want to.
I'm sure they would need an escort at the very least.
Okay. Well, in
It'd
which
be
case...
rare.
Franco will probably get some liquid courage before they go, but yeah.
So, in other words, a group of insane drunks are going to go and visit an artist.
Maddie's not drinking anything other than tea and water.
Sorry. A group of insane people, drunk people, and drunk insane people. Just
Yes, it's
thrown
perfect.
in and mixed up together. All going to
there's-
visit this artist.
There's nothing that could possibly go wrong.
Exactly. But yes, we'll be back in 10 minutes' time. And hopefully I'll have sorted my lighting by then. See you soon. And we are back. So, the society have headed over the few short streets from Grosvenor Square over to Holbein Mews in Chelsea. And you arrive outside. This house is familiar to three of you, but new to Irene. This terraced brick house. Quite dingy and run down, curtains drawn tight across locked, like tightly barred looking windows upstairs and downstairs. It's a very unwelcoming looking house. You can see there's a ground floor, an upper floor, first floor, and then it looks to be a small window from an attic above. To translate, first floor, second floor, attic.
Mm-hmm. Understand.
Yeah. And yeah, it's this. There's no sort of sign or advertisement that it's anything other than a house outside, but quite a few of the streets around here are artist garrets and workshops and that sort of thing. Yeah.
Well, lead the way.
I will lead the way. I'll go up and I will knock on the door.
Oh, I'm coming. Just one sec.
And Irene is staying very close to where Maddie is to give her the support she needs, because she's already told her that this building is very dark.
Oh, you're back. And you see the door open and you see this dark, dingy hallway with this little old lady standing in it, smiling
Yes.
widely.
I did say I would be back to purchase the painting. I've actually brought one of my acquaintances who might be interested in some of the pieces.
Hello.
Hello. Oh, I wasn't quite expecting you. Let me just come on in. I'll put the kettle on.
Do you mind if we go up to the paintings again? I wanted to let Lady Irene von Watts see the paintings.
Oh, Miles is a little busy painting at the moment. Let me just get you settled downstairs and then I'll just go and make sure he's all right to be disturbed. Oh, excuse the mess. And she shows you through into this little reception room with some sofas. And Irene, what's striking you is the smell of this house, this musky scent and overlaid with like stale food body odor. It's just it's lead. It's like you can almost taste it in the air.
Just smells like the color brown.
Take a seat. I'll be back in just a tick. And yeah, she settles you down in this living room and disappears off through the door. And you hear rattling around in the kitchen behind. Sound of a kettle being filled and a stove being lit.
I'll just have a quick look around the room that we're in. But I'm also going to see, because we were curious about whether there was anyone else in the property other than Bertha Shipley and her son. So I'd probably, eavesdrop to see if we can hear anything else in the house. Well, not eavesdrop, just listen to see if we can hear anyone else moving around the property.
Right before I take a seat, I'm going to go to the drapes. I'm assuming there's a window in this room, and I'm going to see if I can open the drapes and let a little bit more light in.
You can. Just let a bit more light into the front of the house. Make me a listen check, Mortimer, if you're trying to listen out as to what is going on.
Irene is just being very observant as you can be.
I'll spend 2 luck on that one.
Okay, so you can hear Bertha rustling around in the kitchen, just right behind the room you came in, and you can hear the sound of someone moving around upstairs, like, but very, very faintly. Far above. But other than that, it sounds like the house is pretty much empty. It doesn't sound like there's anyone else moving around. Perhaps the rustle of what could be a rat scuttling somewhere beneath the floorboards. Rummaging around beneath.
Okay, that's fine. I was just concerned because we weren't sure how many people we might encounter. But that's all good.
Franco will keep his attention on his potential snake person in the next room over.
Are there any pictures on the walls in this room?
No, there are not.
Because a lot of family homes would have pictures of some fashion.
Not like portraits or paintings. There is a photograph on like the mantelpiece of the fire. In fact, 2.
I'll have a look at those then.
Both of which appear to be like stiffly posed family photographs showing one showing just Miles and one showing Miles and his mother. Smiling in that sort of, stiff posed. I've had to stand here for a good deal of time to get the photograph to come out way, dressed in their formal best. Miles looks a good deal healthier than he did when you last saw him. And he looks a few years younger. It looks like it's possibly, 2 or 3 years ago, this photograph.
How old does his mum look in the picture compared to how she is now?
Pretty similar. Like, she's possibly looks a couple of years older now, but not noticeably vastly older.
That's okay. I was wondering whether if she was using the picture as a guideline for the illusion that she'd look the same as what his mum looked a few years ago in the picture. Because she might have not have realised to have the illusion age.
She looks not exactly the same as the photograph. But, yeah.
The differences too, is there a significant difference? I mean, the woman looks the same basically, but is there like
difference in height?
Yeah, difference in height or difference in like posture?
Make me a spot hidden. Yeah, Miles definitely looks, he looks like he's lost a lot of weight since the photograph was
I mean,
taken.
if you need the 2 points.
No. Hard success is a no. Oh, I'll say the hard success. Just, I mean, obviously this is a posed photograph. Like, she's standing as straight as she can. She's,
Mhm.
in her best, whereas you're seeing her actually walking and moving around. But she definitely looks a little taller in the photograph than she does when you've seen her. And she's a little more hunched over than she was in the photograph. Ah, excellent. Here's some tea. I found some biscuits in the cupboard. They got a little soft, but they're still all right. Yeah, you help yourself. I'll go up and see Miles.
Thank you.
Take as many as you like. Don't worry. And she disappears back upstairs again, leaving. After having poured 4 cups of tea, and put out this plate of what look to be shortbread biscuits.
I'll take one of the cups, but is there anywhere I could
There's a
quickly
kitchen.
pour it? Yes. I was
Yes.
thinking it.
I was in the same spot.
There's a vase of withered-looking flowers on the table.
I think that may be where it will go.
What kind
But,
of flowers are they?
It's really. It looks like they were chrysanthemum. Why did I not pick a type of flower I can say?
Chrysanthemums.
Those. But the petals have all fallen off now. Mostly they're just stalks.
And yeah, there's definitely a disappointed look from Irene at this vase as she pours her own tea into the vase along with more.
Yeah, I won't pour the whole thing. I'll pour most of it, so
Yeah.
there's a little bit in the bottom of the cup.
Bottom. That's perfect. That's exactly the way it should go. I'm never drinking tea out again, Maddie. Just FYI.
We didn't last time
Maddie
either.
didn't reach for her cup. She's gotten up from her seat and is wandering around, looking just at things, either not necessarily like searching for anything, but also kind of looking for anything that might be odd.
Nothing in this room seems untidy. It seems like it's not been cleaned properly in a while, but nothing particularly standing out as odd, other than the fact that it's.
Does the kitchen go into the back? Is the kitchen behind the room we're in?
Yes, the kitchen's behind the room you're in.
I'm going to listen briefly to see whereabouts the woman is, and then I want to slip into the kitchen.
Yeah, you slip into the kitchen. It sounded like she went upstairs, which is
Mhm.
where she said she was going. You slip through into the kitchen. You can see
Maggie will follow.
a door and a window leading out into what looks to be a small back garden, and a door presumably leading back into the hallway you came from. Another door, sort of semi-ajar over here, through which you can see what looks to be a dining room. And a fourth door, which looks like it might lead down into some kind of basement. The kitchen
Is it locked?
Even if.
Maddie's going
Yes.
to text it.
It's locked. So you sort of reach this. The other doors are not, but this one is. The basement door is locked.
Is there anything unusual in the cupboards?
Rummaging through, you find there's not much food in, and quite a lot of it.
Is it
appears to-
spoiled?
Yes, appears to be spoiled. There is some in, and there's definitely there's some bread that's still good, and a bottle of fresh milk that we delivered this morning.
All
I
right.
will open the door to the cellar.
All right, give me a locksmith roll, please. I like your confidence. Not I will try. Oh, the confidence has played off. Yes, you will open the door to the basement. Yeah, you click. the door comes undone.
If she comes down and I'm not back out yet, I left and, was not feeling well. And just close the door behind me as I go down.
Okay.
And I'll be silent as I
So you head down
can.
a short flight of stairs into... what kind of light are you taking down here? Because you've just closed the door behind you and it is pitch black.
We had established that we have gas lanterns. I would take one of those with me.
Okay. So as you head down, you can see this untidy room with boxes, crates, and broken chairs stacked around, mostly haphazardly. There are a few clear paths leading through which you can wind your way through this junk and debris, though, and old packing cases, like mouldering rolls of canvas, empty paint pots, all sorts of clutter.
But there's regularly someone down here. Or is there, like, dust everywhere?
Give me a spot hidden. As he's looking around, the rest of you hear footsteps of Bertha Shipley coming back down the stairs. Oh, Miles has just gone to have a lie down.
I had at that point made my way back into the sitting room, and I'm just picking up my tea to sip it.
I do have a question, Keeper.
Yes.
Did the tea smell strange in any way, or be discoloured, or is there anything I picked up as unusual about it?
Give me a spot hidden.
I was thinking more a medicine roll from a doctor's viewpoint. I'm just wondering if there's a drug or...
Rolls other than spot hidden are always 100% welcome.
Spot hidden's the most used roll in the game. Like perception in D&D.
Yes, but sometimes I feel like I wish I could ask for another roll, but... Ooh.
Extreme success.
With an extreme success.
On medicine.
Yes. As you... This smell is... Not only is there something off about this, it smells... When my chemistry knowledge is in... I didn't know what laudanum smells like. This tea smells like laudanum.
I'd recognise that smell from the doctor's viewpoint.
Quite a lot of laudanum.
I've only taken one sip.
Yes. Would I have noticed this before Bertha came down?
In fact, I'd say you're noticing it now just as you're hearing Bertha. Just as Franco shut the door, Bertha's come down and Maddie's taken a little sip of the tea.
Oh, I'll sort of grab Maddie's arm quickly and say, it's drugged.
Of course it's drugged.
Maddie nods and pretends to finish that sip as Miss Bertha comes into the room.
Oh, right, well, Miles has just gone for a little lie down. He's a bit tired, and I'll show you upstairs and we can have a look over the paintings, double check which one you wanted. Ooh, where's the other one?
Mr. Bernice actually has been feeling a little unwell. He decided to leave.
Yeah.
He sends his regrets that he couldn't stay.
Maddie, could you make me a fast talk roll, please? Oh, that's terrible, terrible. Oh, well.
Fast talk?
Yes, please. That's terrible to hear. Anyway.
That was a fail.
Come on up. Come on up.
I am very excited to see these paintings. They have been telling me stories since I came back.
Oh, well, I'm sure you'll be very delighted to see them.
Yes. Yes, I will.
I'll
She-
set my teacup down and
Begins ushering you up the stairs into the attic. I did some extra lanterns for you, dear, so it wouldn't be too dark.
thank you.
So kind of you, miss.
Yes.
It's not every day that I've had someone treat Maddie with the care that she needs, so I appreciate that.
Well, valued customer.
Mortimer will probably stumble a bit on the steps because we've given the impression we've drank some of that tea.
Oh, you okay, dear? You can always go and have a sit down downstairs if you're not up to the stairs.
It's
I know
okay.
my old
I'm
legs
just,
get awfully tired.
I'm just feeling really tired. I'm not sure. Probably, I don't think I slept well last night. Must have been that. I'll be fine once I get outside later and get some fresh air.
Okay, well, here you are. And she ushers you up into this attic space where the foul smell of the house is mingled in with the smell of turpentine and other painting materials. And you can see that this once had skylight windows to let in lots of light, but someone's painted over them in a layer of black paint. It's now very dark up here, apart from 3 lanterns hanging up to light the space. And by the light of those lanterns, you can see an easel with the first sketchy outlines of a painting on it, and several other finished paintings lent up against the walls with tags on them as to what they're about. As sort of Bertha waves you into this room, we're going to pop back down to the basement, where Franco, you can, with yet another extreme success, you can see someone has been down here very regularly, so much so that they've tracked a clear path through this room. Despite the jumbled look, there is actually a clear path from the stairs to the back wall, the south wall of the basement. And as you look at this back wall, you can see there's a seam in this brickwork. All the bricks line up.
This looks very much like a hidden door. I'll try to find a way to open that.
How are you trying? What are you doing?
I'll try to look around, and I'm not moving past the way that is cleared. Right, the cleared way means that somewhere here the opening there must be the way to open that. So I'm looking at systematically looking for a lever, maybe trying to push the door, trying to...
There's no lever, but as you push on the door, a firm push, and it swings open, releasing this strong reptilian smell from the room beyond.
Ooh.
And you see this room lined with, one room is lined with shelves. One wall, that's the word I'm after. One wall is lined with shelves, whilst the other wall are inscribed with symbols. You don't understand, but you do recognise a similarity to the symbols on the stone tablets at Ormdale. And you can see the shelves are filled with jars with all sorts of substances in them. Powders, liquids, mostly unlabeled, some labelled in this language you don't understand. And against the other wall is this large stone trough covered with a canvas sheet.
Stone what?
Trough. Like, imagine like a sarcophagus, coffin, big stone.
Okay. Okay, I'm going to I'm going to close the door behind me as
Trog?
until it.
Trog? No, don't know. Drinking, like for animals, a drinking trough.
Oh,
Type.
okay. That makes. I understand that one. I'm going to close the secret door enough that the light from my lantern doesn't get out, and then start transcribing the symbols on my notebook. The symbols on the wall, the symbols on the few etiquettes on the stuff that's there, and I'm gonna leave the trough be for now until I have dealt with that.
Okay.
Just keep an eye on it.
Right. As you are doing that, back upstairs, Bertha is pointing out all these paintings to Irene and the others. Ah, look, this is the Pharaoh's Return, part of a triptych. Don't know, were you at the exhibit at the Royal Academy with the others? The partner piece to that one was exhibited there. It's one of Miles's finest. And that one there, that's the goat one. That was the one Miss what was her name again? Carter was interested in?
Yes, Carter. Yes. But I was hoping to speak with Miles about that one.
I handle all the
And the
financials. I handle all the sales. Miles is an artistic soul, but I handle the finances.
All right. Well, I still wanted to speak with him because I understand that he's kind of is a bit apprehensive of coming to the estate and doing a
Miles
piece.
doesn't go out. He doesn't like going out these days. So he's a little troubled. I'm working on it.
Can I roll a bullshit roll while Maddie is
Yes.
talking to this?
Yes, please roll me a psychology bullshit roll. And also, as you're looking at these paintings, I will need you to roll me a sanity roll.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're picking up what you're picking up. No further clues, possibly because you're a little bit distracted by these paintings. Because it's deeply unsettling. Not just what Maddie said, that stuff almost seems to be moving and watching you, but the similarity, especially, I think the one that's probably most familiar to you would be the blonde figure, the woman. Not looking at you, but you're very sure that you recognize her. It is Augusta Belfont, as she once was.
Yep. And there's definitely this, trying to listen to that, and there's just definitely that scan, and then there's just a stop right in front of that painting.
And the water almost seems to ripple and move. And I need you to roll me a d6 here, please. This whole lovely viewing experience as you... Oh! Oh, the luck is running out. Does that take Lady Irene below? She started at 43.
Yeah, 43, and no, it doesn't take her
No, it
below
doesn't.
her.
But I still do need an intelligence roll from you here, as you deduct 6 points of sanity.
Yay! 6 points of sanity. Yay!
6 points of sanity. Oh, and sadly, this is the one time you don't want to succeed on a roll, because you're not able to rationalize this away. These paintings are not right. Not just in the way they're painted, but in composition. Nobody should see what this painting has. Like, you only recognize this scene because you saw a scene like this when you touched her hand, when you saw, and when you touched that corpse back on the banks of the Thames and you saw the ritual and the offering to the Thames. You were there, you saw what happened, and whoever painted this has seen the same scene you've seen. They were there as much as you were. And that is deeply disturbing, and I need a D10 from you here as you enter a bout of madness. And I think, does that mean that, hang on, almost everyone has suffered a bout of madness tonight so far. This is one of those nights. And, oh, you feel the need. There's only one solution. These paintings are dangerous. These paintings need to be destroyed. And you feel this wave of violence rise up inside you, and the need to get rid of these things.
So, as most individuals here know, and for the lovely people watching, Irene almost always has a sword hidden in her skirts nowadays. And what seems to happen, and Maddie can see while she's talking to Bertha, whom I assume is not really paying attention to Lady Irene.
Oh no, I'm just,
Yeah, more focusing on Maddie, who's trying to convince her to let her son out and about.
And I'll use my charm on that to try to convince her.
Yeah, give me a charm roll here.
Can I help with that at all? Because I'm quite charming.
I think this is more of an individual pursuit here.
And I guess Mortimer would also see this as
You can make your own charm roll if you want to make your own persuasion.
Oh,
I'm going to spend
wait.
the luck for that. So that's
Are you
14?
sure?
11 luck.
11 luck.
11. I'll spend the 11 luck.
I got a success on it, so do you want to?
I'm also going to say that a success is not necessarily enough here to achieve
that's
the
okay.
effect you're after.
True.
So I'll leave it up to you if you still want to spend that luck or not, but...
No, I definitely want to spend that luck. Because I am trying hard to convince her.
It's a lovely offer, dear, but, you know, it's for Miles' own good. He doesn't like bright lights and noisy places.
Well,
It's dark places for him.
It's a private estate, and we are welcome to discuss this over dinner. If that way, it would be in the evening. He wouldn't have to deal with the bright lights. The dining room will not be as bright as I like it, but it will be definitely dimmer than so that he could handle it if that's what's needed.
I'll have a word with Miles about it. I will see if I can persuade him. But as I said, he really doesn't like going out these days. I handle most of the affairs outside the house. And
This is part of the point where stabby time happens.
which
I handle most of the affairs out of the house.
Which painting are you stabbing?
I am definitely stabbing the offering. And it's one of those things that's right at the base of the woman's spine.
There's a ripping of canvas, and Bertha's head sort of whips around from her conversation with Maddie. What are you doing?
Doing
Stop
what
it.
needs to be done.
Stop it. And
that's when the full sword comes out, and yeah,
that's
Irene is not stopping.
when I'm going to ask, what's Irene's dexterity, what's Mortimer's dexterity, and what's Maddie's dexterity?
I'm sorry.
55 for Maddie.
50 for Irene.
50 for Mortimer.
Okay. So, as downstairs in the basement, Franco, you're making some good headway in copying down these symbols, completely oblivious to the chaos that is about to erupt above.
I mean, at least I get a bit more time now.
Bertha whips around towards Irene, sort of eyes wide, and she's got... Well, in her hand she's got one of these lanterns, and you see she sort of raises it, almost to take a swing at Irene with it. But Maddie, you're faster than this little old lady.
Where is Irene's blade? Is it in the air? What direction is it pointed
definitely, it's finishing the stroke, so it's coming out of the canvas at this moment.
Is she so it's Maddie, Bertha, and Irene, and the blade is now coming towards Bertha, correct?
Yeah, it's the turn is about to happen to where she's going to try and stab this woman.
At that point, I'm going to actually shove Bertha towards the blade.
Give me a fighting roll here, please. This is a maneuver to try and...
A fighting brawl?
Yes, please.
That's a 31 success.
Okay, let's see. Oop, wrong done. Wrong one. Yes, you successfully shove this old lady onto Lady Irene's blade. Did we ever add the damage for the sword?
Don't remember now.
No.
Let me see. No, we did not.
No, we did not. It's a... hang on. This is when I hope that for once the weapons table has just sword, but knowing the weapons table in this book that we... let's see. Smaller than a large knife. Is it... Did you say this is a cavalry saber?
Always.
Yes.
That's what she brings to London.
Well, in that case, I shall use the helpful listing of cavalry saber.
Yay.
And roll me 1d8 plus 1 plus your damage bonus.
All right, I'm trying to see what's the damage bonus again.
I think yours is -1, so just 1d8. It balances out.
Okay.
Does she get any damage from me shoving her?
This is the damage from the shove. This is...
Oh, that's the damage from the shove, not from the sword?
Well, yes, the shove landed her on the sword.
On the sword.
Oh, that's right.
It guaranteed the hit, basically.
Yes, it meant that this happened faster.
That was five on that, guys.
And there's a ripping and tearing of flesh as this woman is impaled partially on the sword, and she almost seems to flicker. And the old woman sort of just begins to peel apart. Not physically. This is not like a layer of flesh. This is more like a burning piece of paper, or like it's something like almost into this blackish smoke coiling off in places as you see beneath this lizard-like serpentine form, this long extended neck, this narrow head, these sharp-looking teeth, still wearing Bertha Shipley's clothing, which it turns its head around, sort of the sword still stuck through it. It's like turn around to Maddie, and I don't think any of you have seen any serpent people before, have you?
No.
I am, unfortunately for all of you, going to ask for sanity rolls off everyone as this creature is revealed before you.
That's a fail. Now, do I spend the luck? No, I can't spend.
You can't spend luck on a sanity roll. Irene,
Success.
that's a success. You don't lose any more points of sanity. You're already insane.
I'm already plotting the destruction of this
Maddie?
place.
Yes.
Please roll me 1d6.
Like a things. Come on. Let's see what
That's
new
a
phobia
3.
you get.
That's a 3, and I don't need to roll me a d10 because this is definitely a bout of madness for Maddie, because Maddie
7.
has so few sanity points now that it's...
I have 7 sanity points until
Oh.
you tell me otherwise.
You've
4.
just lost 3.
Oh, yay! 4.
4. We're number 4. We're number 4.
If you can count your sanity points on one hand,
You're
things have
danger.
gone very wrong. And you realize this situation has gone deeply very wrong. And you'll find yourself turning to run. The impetus to flee just feeling you like stumbling backwards away from this creature, back out onto the stairway.
In flailing my arms as I turn around to run, can I knock one of the lamps loose?
You want to do this?
Yes.
Make me a luck roll. And in this case, burning down the house is the lucky option.
Burning down the house. This is a great game to come back to. We're lighting shit on fire.
No.
So if I spent
You can't
30
spend luck on luck.
Ah, dang it. It fails. Dang
You
it.
just flail and run out of
You
the building.
flail, stagger backwards onto the stairwell as it's Bertha's turn. And Bertha is going to go for the lady with the sword who just stabbed. Well, not stabbed, but just was.
Stabbed a painting, stabbed her.
Yeah.
Let's see how this goes.
And she is going to. I mean, she's already sort of semi-impaled on your sword, so she's fairly close to you.
Yes.
And she is going to lunge forwards and try and bite you.
I'm gonna get bit by a snake person, yo. This is cool. I love cock.
Please, can we never say that again? I'm renaming this entire game. Are you going to try and fight back here, or dodge out of the way?
I am going to try and, well, since I am incensed and everything needs to go away, logic has gone out the window, so I'm going to try and fight back.
Okay, give me a fighting. Well, no, give me a swordsmanship roll. I think is actually the better option here.
Ooh.
You had
Yep.
swordsmanship.
Yep.
And
Let's
she
see
is
if this-
semi-stabbed.
19, it's a success.
It's a success for you. Unfortunately, a success for her as well. And with fighting back, that means she wins the draw.
I mean,
So-
it's 7 points of luck.
Unless you want to spend 7
Oh,
points of luck.
I'll spend that luck. I'll spend that luck any day.
In which case, you win. As she lunges forwards to bite you, like the sword still sort of caught through her. Roll me the sword damage again.
Ooh, so D8 coming right at you hot.
4 points. It's not looking so good impaled on this sword. Mortimer, over to you as this creature sort of thrashes and twists on the blade.
I definitely have this feeling that Irene, when it lunged in, she just kind of pulled and went, "Oh no, you're here."
Am I behind the snake person at the moment?
Would you like to be?
I think I would have been dawdling around pretending to have been under the effects of the drug. I would have stayed back because I've already seen the paintings, and I suspect the snake person would have homed in straight on Lady Irene once she started attacking the picture. So yes, he would have. I'd say it's along the lines of a pocket knife. Victorian gentlemen would sometimes carry a pocket knife to cut fruit or things like that, or that sort of thing. So he would try to stab her with that in the back.
Alright, give me a fighting brawl, assuming you don't have knife as a separate skill.
Nope, I don't think I've got anything in fighting brawl either.
That's...
But, we shall
Hey,
see.
look. Not everyone can be...
Nope.
You stab her forwards, this creature sort of thrashing and twisting on Irene's blade. technically brings us back round to Irene's turn, because all this has been on the defensive. Or actually with Maddie.
All right. And what I'm kind of picturing is, this has happened. And we were in front of the offering pisher, and I think Irene is going to do some fancy sword fighting steps to turn her towards another one and try and just ram her, impale her into another one of the fucking paintings.
Okay, give me a swordsmanship for joint attack on Painting and Bertha, and Maddie will be around next.
I failed that roll.
A little overreaching, you try and lever her around, but she's stronger now. She seems to be holding her ground better. She's not the little old lady anymore. This is something stronger, older, much more dangerous.
Yep.
Twisting and turning with this Icarish blood splattering down on the boards beneath it. As Maddie, the panic still coursing through your veins. This urge
I'm going
to
down
flee.
the stairs. Miles is in one of the rooms, correct? I'm gonna start trying to open the rooms to find him. And try to get him to leave as well.
Okay. Let's give me a look roll for the first door. Let's see.
That's a hard
Yes.
success.
You fling open the door and you see this in the darkness and chaos beyond, like this hunched figure sort of sat on the bed with his arms wrapped sort of tightly around him. He looks up at him, sort of surprised, like, I think, you're not him. You're not Bertha. You're not Bertha.
I am going to take one step into the darkened room, and I'm going to say, "Let's go," and I'm going to reach my hand out for him.
Yeah. Okay.
And if he grabs my hand, I'm going to pull him bodily from his room and down the stairs and out the front door.
Okay. So as you're pulling him down and making ready to head out, Maddie. Oh, I think we're back round to Bertha.
Yes, Bertha.
Who is, Irene is still probably the biggest threat here. Lunges forwards again, trying once more to try and get a bite on any exposed flesh.
And
Dodge? Or fight
this time
back?
it's gonna be a dodge.
Okay. Ooh. Got a 22. Which is... luckily for you, still just a success.
And let's see, how much luck is that?
That would be 20 points of luck to turn yours into a success.
Okay.
You willing to do that?
Yep. I'm down to 9 luck points.
Oh, wow. Franco would be proud. As
Too bad he's not here, up here.
it's like a hair's breadth and this last chance of luck, its jaws and just miss your flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And Mortimer, over to you.
Are these pictures, I'm guessing, are not framed or
No,
anything like
they're
that?
not framed.
They're pinned.
I'll grab the nearest one and hit her over the head with it. Just try
Okay.
to pull the whole thing down so
Yep. Give you a
it'll
fighting
be
roll.
around her.
And also, let me know if you have a preference for which painting.
Whichever's nearest. So I think, which picture did Lady Irene stab it as the offering?
Yes.
So it'll be whichever painting's nearest to that then. I'm guessing that'll be...
Yeah, probably the goatwood, the one Maddie was going to buy.
Yeah, I'll grab that and try to smash it over her head, but pull it down over her arms if it's possible.
Okay, give me a fighting roll here.
I love this. This is so great. I love this game. I'm so happy I'm back. I've missed everything.
I missed the stabbing.
That's a fail, unfortunately.
Yes, this creature thrashes back. It's managed to free itself now of being on Irene's blade, and it's looking around. The two of you head to one side as Irene, it's your turn.
Yep, and we are still going to attempt to yank this person to stab another painting. It's just definitely Mortimer took the painting that was nearby, so it's twist and try and do a full-on
the goatwood
thrust.
painting is definitely broken. It's like the wooden framing of it's smashed a bit. It's just missed getting Bertha.
Yeah. So yeah, I think the one that Irene is probably turned now towards is the visitor.
Okay. Alright, give me that swordsmanship roll.
Okay. Swordsmanship. Doesn't do what a swordsmanship should.
No, this is just... This was not in your practice.
No, fighting snake people was not in my practice.
Maddie, you and Miles have made it down to the bottom floor now, down to the lower corridor. Like Miles trailing behind, sort of his hand in yours, like clammy and sweaty. Is it night or day?
It's day, but you're away from that monster. And I am going to scream for Franco. Franco!
Franco, you hear a voice echoing down from below. This house is not soundproofed enough to make you roll a listen check for hearing this.
Fuck. Okay. How far did I get?
You've transcribed about half a wall.
Okay, I'm putting the rest, the notebook away. I'm gonna pull the cover from the cloth, just to make sure that there's nothing dangerous in there.
Okay, as you pull the cover away, you see inside looks to be the remains of a body. I need a sanity roll for you, please, Franco, because you can see what lies within this stone tub appears to be the remains of a half-devoured woman, like flesh stripped from her bones, and sort of gnawed and chewed upon. Please roll me 1d4, Franco. And also, gosh, this is a race to the bottom in terms of sanity. You lose 2 points of sanity. You feel the panic rising.
It's still below daily limit.
Yes. Give me a d10 roll, please. We'll see if you make it upstairs to join Maddie and Miles.
Another mania.
It's not a mania, but I think a mania would be a good fitting one. What? An obsession or a phobia? An obsession. I'll have a think on this. I will have a think. Can't think of anything right now, but we'll come up with something. Franco has certainly had quite the day. But actually, no, a mania. You feel this obsession, these runes, this writing, you've got to crack it. You've got to understand it. And you can't leave now. You're partway through. You need to copy this all down. You need to understand it. You need to crack this code. This writing, this language, it has the answers. And right now, you need to focus on this.
I will just yell back, 1 moment, and I'll keep going.
Okay. Maddie. Ah, yes. Bertha, still not dead, is she? Whips around towards Mortimer this time. trying to sink her teeth into him. Are you going to try and dodge or fight back, Mortimer?
I think dodge is probably my best chance.
Okay. Give me a roll, please. Success is enough. She lunges forward, but you dodge out the way, and then I believe I've lost track of who comes after.
I think it's Lady Irene.
I think it's Lady Irene, yes.
Then
It's either you or Lady Irene. You're both on the same one, so.
That dodge again with the stabbies.
Just missing. This is a slippery creature. Mortimer, over to you.
any paintings nearby I could hit her with again?
Oh yeah. There's the Lord Rises, and there's also a whole easel with this outline of the newest painting on it. Also paint pots, paint palettes.
Is there like some sort of tray with all the paints and turpentine and all that sort of stuff on? I'll try to hit her with that then. Isn't that stuff flammable? But I'm not worried about that at the moment. I'm just going to hit her with that.
Yeah.
Fighting brawl?
Fighting brawl. Going to try and fight way back.
How much luck would that take?
That would be 19, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll spend the 19.
All right. Okay. So this was a tray of paints. And is your aim here to do damage or just to cover her in other substances? What's the goal here?
Actually, to get the paint all over her face, her eyes, so she can't see.
Okay, in which case, yeah, this dripping black paint down this creature's eyes, it lashes its head back and forth. Can't see you now. And Maddie, Franco has called back up to you. He does not seem ready to leave. Miles sort of shrinks back against the wall of the hall. Like, it's too light out. There's bad things out there.
We've a carriage, and you can be in it. And I'm going to move myself behind him and push him out.
Give me a charm or a persuade or something along those lines.
Let's see with
or intimidate or
that's a hard success with a persuade.
Right, the carriage. Okay, yeah, the carriage.
And I'm gonna take him outside and I'm gonna shove him into the carriage, draw the curtains for him. I'm gonna tell Bo, since he's driving, big fight. Need help.
You want me to go up there?
Please? And I'm going to start walking down the street quickly.
Shit, I don't get paid enough for this. Bo starts rather slowly climbing down from the carriage. Oh,
He's a big man. He's used to a tussle.
Yeah, but he also sees what happens.
You'll get an extra big bonus when you get home.
Lady Irene and Miss Carter. Oh God. And starts heading his way into the house. He's a big man, but he looks afraid of whatever he's likely to find in there. And
Makes sense.
Oh yes, it's Bertha lashing around, trying to attack either of you, any of you, but not achieving anything other than knocking this easel flying and sending more things clattering over as she stumbles around. Could you make me a group look roll, please?
Hold on.
I think that Irene is the lowest look.
Okay. That was a success.
That's a hard success.
success with by not luck.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, Bertha's not stumbling towards the door. She'd be stumbling back into one corner. Like, the lantern rolls to one side, narrowly missing a pool of spilt turpentine and materials beside the door. The building is not yet on fire. Over to Irene.
Well, if she's going back into the corner, I think we should do this in the best fashion. Irene is going to take one of those gas lanterns and try and toss it right at her.
Okay.
Right at her.
Give me a throw. Because this is a small room, I'm giving you a bonus die here.
Okay. Where
It's
is
a small
the throw?
space.
Oh, there it is. And so I do the purple one now,
Purple.
right?
Yes.
That's the +1, right? That's bonus die.
Yes.
Critical success.
So you get to increase your throwing ability by 1d10.
Okay.
As this lantern just smashes directly onto there's this screaming cry of pain as this creature goes up like a candle, like flame flickering over the like dry fabric and flammable paint material, and yeah, screams and thrashes back and forth and collapses down, writhing and burning onto the floor of the attic.
As she's doing that, I'm tossing the paintings except for the unfinished one on her. That's what's happening here. They're all going down.
Growing bonfire of paintings, and smoke starts to fill the room.
And it's kind of at that moment you see the sword kind of drops. I mean, she doesn't drop it, but definitely the point goes down. I had to get rid of them. I had to. It just had to happen. That's what had to happen. I can't believe that they were that bad. And she kind of looks at Mortimer. They were that bad. They were that bad.
They had to be destroyed.
They had to. They had to.
Is the snake person not moving, I'm guessing?
They've stopped moving now. They are burning. The room is also now burning.
Should we get out of here or put the fire out? Get out?
Yeah, I think we should just leave. Yeah.
Okay.
And she is going to grab the one that's half finished. She's bringing that. That's her souvenir. That's her trophy from this.
As we're going downstairs, I'm going to head towards where I think Franco had gone. In the kitchen, wasn't it?
Yes, he's gone down to the basement below the kitchen. Last you saw him.
I'll probably head towards him and that way. But then again, he's in the hidden room, isn't he? And he pulled the door closed.
So yeah, Irene is heading out with this painting. You can see, as you reach the hall, you see Bo. Oh, hey Irene.
Hey. And yeah, there's sword and paint. Hey.
I'm probably a smearish of like blackish, greenish blood.
Yeah.
Is it over?
I think so. The building is about to start burning. And yeah, heck of a way to be back in London. I love this town.
Welcome home.
As she's kind of flicking the sword down, getting the goop off before she sheaves it back. Where's the carriage? I'm going there.
As you exit the building, Mortimer, you can head down from the kitchen into the basement.
The door was hidden, wasn't it? And it was... He closed it after him.
Yeah, so the basement you can still get into, but as you get down there in the darkness, no sign of Franco.
If I can't see him, I will have to assume he's gone, so... Because there's no light from a lantern or anything like that either.
No.
I'll just head out and out the front door as quickly as I can.
Okay, so you You
I'm
head out.
assuming he and Maddie have already gone.
Maddie seems to have left the scene. Bo.
Maddie took off almost running. And Miles is inside the cart or the carriage, curtains drawn.
Irene is being shown to the carriage where you see not Maddie waiting, but a terrified-looking Miles Shipley.
Hello?
Who are you?
I'm
Actually,
Lady
no,
Irene.
Because you've never met Miles Shipley. This
Yeah.
hollow-eyed version of the man you saw in the photograph.
I am Lady Irene von Watts. I am a friend. I will sit down and keep you company.
Right.
Yes. What was this painting going to be?
Next.
This is fine.
The painting, the one I was working on.
Yeah.
There was. It was. Someone was burying something under a tree.
How do you do that?
I just see it and then I paint it and yeah.
Well, we're going to take you to where we live. You can rest, relax, get your wits about you, and I would like to have a real conversation about that because I see things too.
You do? Is it after you drink tea?
No. It's I can touch things and people and see.
So it's not the specialty.
No specialty.
Right.
Special tea? Are you talking about the tea that she used to prepare? I'll ask these questions after you got some rest. I'm sorry.
Is my hands on fire?
Let's focus on.
You can see there's now smoke billowing out from the upstairs. You can hear the clang of an approaching fire engine.
Let's focus on other things. Mortimer, are you?
I'll probably be arriving more than likely now, just as the bells start. I'll just get straight in the carriage.
Bo, get us out of here.
Right away, Mom.
Mr. Shipley, hello again. Is Franco not with you?
I hadn't seen him. I didn't see where he went.
Maddie
walked off. You know how she gets sometimes.
Yes. Last time it happened that I know of, she ended up at Highgate.
Yes.
But, well, at least.
Well, I hope Franco will be safe and he'll come around. He'll be there. He'll be fine.
He'll turn up.
Yep.
So, Franco,
Yes.
you just made a start on transcribing the second wall. This sort of focus on the job that needs to be done when you smell smoke.
How much is still left?
The whole of the second wall.
I mean, this is a cellar. Most of this is stone. I would look around. Is there any ventilation in here?
Not much of it now.
I'm going to fight with myself and, make a quick sketch on how much is missing. Put everything in the pocket again and start making my way out.
Okay, as you make your way out, you can see the fire. The place isn't ablaze. Smoke is filling the hallways, and the fire sort of spreading its way down. You can hear outside the clang of the fire engine. I'm going to ask for one Constitution roll against the smoke to get out of here before too much of this. You're coughing up, sort of smoke filling your lungs. There's a lot of dubious materials in this house that are now burning. Artists' supplies and other things.
Looking at the where the kitchen and the yard was,
Yeah.
would it be quicker to get out the back door?
Yes.
I would do that. Crack open the back door and try to make my way away from there without the firefighters that are coming noticing me.
Okay. Give me a stealth roll. You're going to take 1 point of damage for smoke inhalation, but
Sure.
it could have been worse.
Hit points, I still have some. That's fine. That'd be a hard success on the stealth.
You slip away without any of the authorities spotting you. As the neighborhood starts, people coming out their houses, going to stare at the sudden, unexpected house fire. As Franco slips away, as Maddie walks off across London, and Irene, Mortimer, and Miles Shipley take the carriage back to Grosvenor Square, I think that is probably a sensible place to leave things. Welcome back.